Hello, Christian runners, and welcome back to one of our Zoom interviews. And I've got a wonderful chap here called Robin Fox, who I met many years ago, and I'm sure he's going to tell you how we met. But what we'll do in this interview, we're going to chat about running, obviously, and we're going to chat about church and about Christianity and what it means, obviously, to Robin. So welcome, Robin. How are you doing?
Thanks. Yeah, good to see you. Yeah,
super duper. So do you want to tell everybody sort of how we met? Because I've known you sort of before running, and haven't I?
Yeah, you have. Yeah, we first met, I forget exactly when, probably around about the year 2000, give or take.
Wow.
Yeah, I think it's got to be about then. But yeah, in a very different setup, the Fellowship of Christian Magicians conference.
Yeah. So do you want to tell everybody what that's about? Because obviously a lot of people that will be watching this know me as a runner and as a Christian, but what is this Christian magician thing?
Yeah, well, for me, my interest in that sphere is eschatology, which I've been fascinated about since before I was a Christian for many years now.
Wow.
Someone on TV do an escape from handcuffs and chains. And despite the usual, don't try this at home, I thought, no, there's something about that. I do want to have a go at it. I was fascinated but terrified in equal measure. And yeah, it got into the blood, and I knew I wanted to do that.
Yeah, and it's a great thing, and the sort of the medium of illusion, isn't it? And the gospel magic side, and like you're saying to the people that are watching this, that's how I met, obviously, Robin, and I'm really involved in it a lot. I mean, through the years, through church and Sunday school and street magic, and I find it's a great way to share our faith, tell people about Jesus in a fun and entertaining way, isn't it? And especially getting chained up and that.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, a great sermon illustration for freedom and the freedom that Christ brings. And yeah,
absolutely. And I'm sure before we get to the end of this video, well, this is the way we're going to keep people fixed, because I really want you to tell people about your roles on TV. I know you've been on TV a few times, like myself, but you've probably got more airtime than me. But if everybody keeps tuned, we'll have a chat about what you obviously got up to on TV. But tell us about your running, Robin. First of all, why do you run?
I suppose if you go back to my school days, it was one of the few sports that had any kind of interest in. I never was a footballer. Cricket, if I had to, but running, there was something about that. I could just go into my own zone. Yeah. And I was never the fastest runner in the pack, and I'm still not. But that doesn't matter. There was something about it where, I could just have my own space and my own thoughts. Yeah. When I started in ministry, I realised I'd probably need to do something as a stress buster. Yeah. And I'd done a bit of running in school, but thought, how about it? Why not look at what running groups, what running events there are around here? Yeah. So laced my trainers up again, off I went, and I've never looked back.
Fantastic. That's brilliant. And I mean, because I follow you on Facebook, I see what you get up to, but a lot of our followers won't have a clue. Now, I'm a marathon man. I've done 20 marathons myself, but you've outdone me there. You know what I mean? Tell everybody how many marathons you've done, and probably some of your favourite ones that you've done, maybe.
Oh goodness. Well, I've done 52 marathons.
Oh, 52. Wow.
Yeah, well, I might have the number I've done might be more than you, but if we were in the same one, I'd see the back of your head disappearing into the wide blue yonder. but some of the favourite ones. Stockholm is a lovely course.
Right. Okay.
I was fortunate back in 2012 to do a rerun of the Stockholm 1912 Olympic Marathon,
Wow.
exactly 100 years to the day after
Okay.
that was held. So
Wow.
that one I remember. And yeah, I've done London 4 times. I've done several big cities: New York, Chicago, Paris. And they're great for sightseeing and huge crowds.
Yeah.
Um, but if you want the scenery, Snowdonia, but that is tough.
Brilliant. I've got to agree with you there. I've done Snowdonia twice, and I've got to say the scenery wise, well, even I mean, it is tough. It's probably one of the toughest I've done, but amazing marathon. The people are great. I mean, the setup is fantastic, isn't it? But yeah, a little bit tough, isn't it?
It is, yes.
Yeah,
Yeah,
fantastic.
if you see,
Yeah, I was just going to say. So obviously, you've done plenty of marathons, and obviously everyone knows it's 26 miles. But you do these crazy things like me too. These where you love jumping in mud and crawling and climbing.
Tough Mudder and Spartan, yeah. Tough Mudder came about because of contacts I have with Christian Vision for Men. They were getting a team together.
Yeah.
And I thought, yeah, that could be fun. So I signed up for the team. Then discovered that the team leader was a former soldier who served in Iraq. I thought, I am going to die. But no, because of his experience, he knew how to look after a team.
Brilliant.
And yeah, it was great fun. And that was the first of 17 Tough Mudders.
Have you got any plans for this year? Any plans for this year?
No, actually. The dates don't work out for a variety of reasons, but
Yeah.
I hope we'll be back to it next year. I'm missing it.
Fantastic. I know, I've like yourself, I've done Spartans and obstacle course racing and Total Warriors and loads of things, but I've actually never ever done. I've never done a Tough Mudder, but I've entered the one in Skipton in Yorkshire this year. So
yes,
I'm going off on the early Saturday morning wave. So hopefully I'll be racing against some of the fast lads. Hopefully.
Oh, have a blast!
So I'm looking forward to that. So that'll be good fun. So yeah, so running obviously is so important for your fitness and obviously that time just to de-stress, which I think a lot of people will agree with that. And I find too, I don't know if you do, I'm sure you do with that. Do you find it's time where you can just talk to God and pray and think about obviously for your church and that?
Yeah, absolutely. For many years now, I've referred to my running time as my prayer miles. And I've lived in some amazing locations in which to run. Here, it's a village called Aldlam, which is near Nantwich in Cheshire. Lovely village, and there's a canal runs right through it. So I'm running northbound towards Nantwich or southbound towards Market Drayton on the canal towpath, prayer miles, an hour with my own thoughts, with my own prayers, with the Lord. Absolute bliss. Aren't I the lucky one in that regard?
You can't beat canals, obviously. People that follow me on Strava, or I live not far from a canal myself, so which is like the Leeds Liverpool Canal, so I can run all the way to Liverpool, 125 miles. But yeah, I find it's a lovely, especially early on the morning or late on the night when there's not many people or no one around apart from the ducks and a few deer. It's just lovely, isn't it? In God's creation, and listening, I can hear the birds now singing just outside now. But yeah, beautiful.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah.
So for everybody that is watching, obviously we can see you've got a collar on. So can you just tell us a little bit about what you do, how you got involved in obviously your job and things like that, Robin?
Yeah, I'm a Methodist minister, and this is being filmed at 4 p.m. on a Sunday afternoon when I'm just back from an afternoon service, hence I've still got the collar on.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've been a minister now for 27 years.
Wow.
Years as a probationer, and after that I was ordained. So next week it's my ordination silver jubilee,
Wow.
which, yeah, I can't believe that it is, but the calendar tells me so. That started off a long time ago. When I was a teenager, I was visiting my auntie on the Wirral.
Yeah.
And after church on Sunday morning, somebody asked me if I'd ever considered going into ministry,
Wow. Yeah.
which at that point it had never crossed my mind.
Yeah.
As years went by, it was one of those questions that wasn't going to go away. And eventually I was at Aberystwyth University, and I thought, I am going to have to do something about this. So went to see my minister, told him what my story was, and if I was to offer as a minister, what would be the next steps. He guided me through. The Methodist Church, in its wisdom, or otherwise, you decide, said yes.
Brilliant.
So, yeah, as I say, 25 years ago this month, I was ordained in Scarborough.
Fantastic. And I'm sure we'll tell people now on this Saturday coming, which it's the 11th of June, isn't it? So you've got something planned on Saturday, is that right?
Yeah, I think it's the 17th, isn't it?
Oh yeah, it's 11th today. What am I on about, isn't it? Yeah. 17th, isn't it? Yeah.
Yes. On the 17th, I've invited Christian runners to the Cinder Track Park Run in Whitby.
Yeah.
It's one of the nearest to Scarborough where I was ordained.
Yeah.
And 2 days before I was ordained, having a little free time, I visited Whitby Abbey, sat in the ruins, full time of prayer. Yeah. I can only describe it as hearing an echo of eternity. So, yeah, that was a very special time in Whitby 2 days before my ordination in Scarborough. So I'm looking forward to revisiting Whitby and Scarborough this coming weekend.
Well, hopefully, God willing, I'm going to join you this Saturday. And I think there's a couple other Christian runners I know that are planning to come. So an appeal now, I mean, if there's anybody out there watching this now, if you want to come to Whitby, join us on the Cinder Track. I think it's reasonably flat, is it, Robin?
Yes.
Yeah. But it's only 5 miles away, 6 miles away from my son. My son lives at Goathland. He runs the post office and the gift shop. So if anyone's ever visiting, say hi. My oldest son, Josh, works there. So but I'll probably have a weekend at Goathland and I'll come over and join you on the Saturday, which will be nice.
Amazing. Look forward to seeing you. Yeah.
Yeah. And obviously, I don't know if you do this, but every time you go to Whitby, tell me, Robin, you run up the 199 steps. Do you do that?
No, I have walked up them, but no. But don't give me ideas.
Yeah. I seem to get there. My wife just looks at me and she says, "Go on then," because she knows what I want to run. I always try to run to top without stopping, just nice and steady, because it's a killer, isn't it? It's a long way up.
Yes,
it's a long way up.
But yeah.
Yeah. Right then. So I mean, it's absolutely great to talk to you. I mean, to me, you look exactly the same as I saw you 25 years ago. You don't seem to have aged. Probably like I might have aged.
Hardly, no. That's very kind, but yeah, the calendar does tell me that 20 plus years have passed since then. Yeah,
Yeah, I'm still young in my head. I know my body's I've got a few more aches and pains, but I keep pushing on. As I mean, as the
yeah,
song says, keep going, don't stop. Keep our eyes fixed on Jesus. We're running that race, aren't we? And never give up.
Yeah.
Keep trying. So let's just have a little chat about your TV roles. So I don't know where you want to start, Robin, but just tell us one. I know there's one you went on because I tried to get on it and I didn't get on it, and I was so looking forward to it. And then next minute, Robin gets on it, and I'm like, oh no. So can you remember what that one is?
Yeah, you're talking about Total Wipeout.
That's it, Total Wipeout. Yeah.
Yeah, was a brilliant TV show, in my opinion. I loved watching it.
Yeah.
It was amazing to be part of it, not just because it was filmed in Buenos Aires, Argentina, but it's best known for the 4 big red balls, which so many people tried to cross. Some made it. I didn't. I bounced off the second one. Landed feet first in the water, so it wasn't that big a splash. But yeah, great fun.
Brilliant.
Yeah, an absolutely amazing time, and the clips are still out there on YouTube. If you want to laugh, look for Total Wipeout. I think it was series 5, episode 2.
Right, yeah. I can always remember because I'd gone for the auditions down in London, and I got right through everything, right to the end. So they just said, "We'll call you if we need you." And obviously, I never got the call up. And then a few months later, it literally was in my village of Rothwell, literally 2 minutes walk. Yeah, they came to the sports centre where I live. I was like, "No, I've been to London." And then obviously got on it.
To go to Rothwell, and you went to London. Yeah.
Crazy. Yeah, but yeah, it's a fantastic show. But what about another one that with your magic, obviously your escapology, there was something you went on which was really, really entertaining, I thought.
Yeah, 2 years ago, a program, Game of Talents. It was the nearest thing to Britain's Got Talents that they could do with COVID restrictions. Couldn't have a studio audience, for instance. So they had 2 teams of contestants, and it was a bit like What's My Line, if any of the viewers remember that from back in the day. There were, I think by the time it was my turn, there were 4 talents left on the board that they hadn't seen: tap dancer, escapologist, globe of death rider, or fire performer. And they had to guess which of the 4 was my skill.
Did they guess it?
No, they thought it was a tap dancer, which I love, but no, definitely not. Yeah, and then to perform it, I was chained into a chair, each wrist chained to the chair's arms, a chain around my chest, and above the chair, a rack of spikes with a burning rope, which I had to get out of before the rope burnt through and the spikes came crashing into me. And yeah, it was close, but well, I'm here. You can tell I made it. Yeah, it was close, but great fun. Yeah.
Fantastic. No, it sounded good. I saw the clip anyway, and it's yeah, it was very entertaining. So have you done anything else, or is that your couple of TV clips? Have you managed to sing at the Albert Hall or anything like that?
I was also on Ninja Warrior UK a couple of years after Total Wipeout.
Oh yes, you was. Yes, you was like with like a pastor and a vicar and that. Is that right? I think.
Yeah, I think there were 3 of us. There was myself, a Methodist minister, a Pentecostal pastor from London and a church planter from Aberdeen.
Yes, that's right. Yeah.
Yeah.
That,
Still in with them as well. Yeah.
That's one that I've been trying to get on, and I still can't get on it. And that's the kind of things I do. I do a lot of obstacle course racing, so it's a lot of Ninja Warrior swings and pulls, and so I know I'd do quite well on it, or hopefully I'd do quite well on it. But maybe one day, maybe.
I've seen your times for Spartan and the like on Strava, so you probably would do pretty well.
Yeah, I'd hope so.
Yeah.
But no, yeah, I mean, it's been absolutely wonderful talking to you, Robin. I don't know if there's anything else you'd like to share with our viewers before we sort of call it a day. I don't know if there's anything we've missed.
I can't think of anything we've missed. If we could just share a Bible verse, one which I find underpins my running.
Yeah, please do.
Christian runners will turn to this for inspiration, but for me it's Isaiah 40:31.
Yeah.
Those who wait on the Lord shall renew their strength. They shall mount up with wings as eagles. They shall run and not grow weary, and they shall walk and not faint. And there may be times running when I do physically find I'm getting tired, especially towards the end of a marathon, but I know that with God's strength, I'll get there. And that's the verse that gives me inspiration in God and helps keep me going.
Fantastic. Yeah, I love that verse too. You know what I mean? On some of our leaflets that we give out about Christian runners, it's on there too. And it really fits in as a runner and as a Christian, doesn't it? It sort of echoes the same thing, the spiritual journey and obviously the physical journey as a runner. And I'm sure people watching, a lot of us, especially those that do the horrible ultra runs, and they really will grow weary, but it's all about being dedicated and carrying on, isn't it? And even if you have to walk step by step.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah.
Well, it's been a pleasure talking to you. But before we go, where are you actually living now? Did you say where are you at?
The village where I live is called Aldlam, which, unless you know it, you probably won't have a clue where that is. It's about 7 miles south of Nantwich in Cheshire, which people may have heard of a bit more.
Do you do any local park runs? Do you do any local park runs?
The nearest, Crewe's the nearest. One I've made home is Alderford Lake, which is only a fifth of a mile further in another direction.
Yeah.
That's in Whitchurch, Shropshire. This is the Cheshire-Shropshire border here. So,
okay.
Yeah, that's where.
So if people are watching and if they know that area, you know, I mean, obviously it'd be great for them just to drop you a line, and it'd be just great to meet up as another Christian and run and.
Yeah, absolutely. And if you're if you're in the area for a park run, if you can come to Alderford Lake, I quite often do the first time as welcome there. So, it would be great to see you if you're in that area.
Fantastic. Well, it's been lovely to talk to you, and I'm going to see you, God willing, on Saturday the 17th at Whitby. So I'll look forward to that. Probably get fish and chips afterwards or something like that. Can't beat fish and chips.
Yeah. Man, 9 o'clock in the morning might be a bit early for that, but something.
Probably. Yeah. Right. Okay. Right. Lovely to speak to you, and I will talk again at one time. Right.
Fantastic. Okay. God bless.
God bless.
Can't hear you. I can't hear you.
Oh, I pressed unmute then.
Ah, right. Yeah, I didn't hear